Guys, this is the
Cool.
first
Hey.
full day in the brand new studio here at 692
What's
Broadway.
up, guys?
It's Pimp.
We're getting to
Yo.
christen it.
Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for being here. So let's just say it. It's Friday the 13th. Anything weird
It's a
gone
little
down
bit
yet?
Scary, but
Scary. Anything
for
bizarre
bringing it
happening
up.
today?
no.
Today was a
Nothing.
good day. It was very
But
positive.
the day's not over, so let's not
Yeah.
not
Don't jinx
jinx
it.
anything.
You're
Yeah, please.
superstitious at least. We know
I'm
that
definitely
now.
pretty superstitious, yeah.
Okay. Well, it is a day we're talking about new stuff. And I saw on your Instagram yesterday, we're going to cut straight to the chase. You teased that you have a new EP coming out in spring 2017. Is that true?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we just dropped Beautiful Disaster in December, but that was like a year of work that we thought was like a perfect time just to throw it out to some fans. But that was kind of like the preliminary work of what's going to come out in March.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't announced the name of the album yet, but we have about 14 songs we haven't really released yet.
So it's going to be an album and not an E EP.
We don't know yet. We don't like to plan too
Did
far
I
in
spill
ahead.
the beans live
Well,
on
come on,
AOL.
you dropped so many teases on your Twitter. Anyone want to
There's
hear
not
the
much
new title of our
difference.
next album? And everyone writes, yes,
We like
I
to
do,
mess
and then
with
you don't
people's
tell them.
brains. We like to really.
We have a couple. We're
Poke
on
at
3
people.
names right now that we think we're gonna ask the fans what they think the name should be
Okay.
for the album. Yeah,
Have you?
maybe
have
they
you
can
told
help
the fans
start
what
tweeting
they
us some things right now, what you think it could be, and then we'll tell you the 3 names, and then we'll come to a nice conclusion
Can
together.
you tell us one maybe name yet?
Okay, so I wanted to make it.
Nah, he's
He's
just
like-
talking out of
Chris
it.
is like, no,
I'm not-
don't
okay,
dare.
so it might sound a little like intense in the beginning, but if you hear the whole story behind it, like
Okay.
I think I want to call it Blood of My Blood, which is like more of a. It sounds gory at first.
Blood in my blood.
No, Blood of My Blood.
Blood of my blood. Okay.
In terms, it's
I
like,
kinda like
we
it.
call our fans like the Woozy gang, right? And they have a very like strong connection with each other online, social media, at the shows. And I found an artist that does like amazing, like almost like color, like water art kind of
Ooh,
stuff. It's cool.
watercolor.
So I'm thinking we do our logo in water art, and it's like the logo with our hands. It's like tatted up hands, kind of like ruggedy looking hands.
Yeah.
And Blood of My Blood is like, it's like the family. Everyone part of the Woozy gang is like, we're all very connected together through the music, through the.
He has it all thought through.
Yeah, I love that he's like,
I
we
don't
have
know
3
anything
options,
about this.
and then he's like, it's
That's
basically
the
gonna
first
be
one.
this
We got 2 other ones, so we'll see.
Okay.
We still got 2 months to figure it out, but
Okay, I like the sound of that though, because Beautiful Disaster, I mean, I saw you explain why you called the EP that.
Yeah.
If you want to explain again, and that was quite a thought out name as well.
well,
to be honest.
if anyone's been to a live dubs show before, they like one of the words that pops up is like high energy, and we definitely felt like we had the disaster part of our live set down packed with the songs that we were dropping in our sets, and just the high energy festivals that we were playing, and we thought it was like a good time to bring down like the beautiful part, have
Okay.
songs that people can feel with the vocals, can feel with the melodies, and still have it just as energetic as the disaster part of the set. So Beautiful Disaster is kind of like a
Oxymoron.
compilation, like the EP. It takes you on a roller coaster,
Okay.
and that's kind of where we want to make the set, appeal to in the next few months.
Because I saw an article or an interview you did, and you said basically that the title Beautiful Disaster was because it was very poetic, actually. The world exists in a perfect balance of positives and negatives.
Correct.
So, yeah.
And I almost feel like everyone relates to the words beautiful disaster. I feel like everyone's a beautiful disaster in their own way.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we actually have some cool merchandise we brought that we're going to give you guys. That have
Today?
Yeah, we have some
Where is
stuff.
it hiding?
We got it backstage.
Is there going to be one for everyone in the audience? Are we going to get to do that giveaway at the end of the interview?
The voice goes up.
Maybe, if the audience gets slightly
No, I
smaller
definitely
in the
think-
next 10 minutes.
Put your hand up if you want one.
And it'd be insulting if you didn't put your hand up.
Hater,
Oh,
hater,
haters
hater.
gonna hate.
You get one, you get one.
So back to the EP that's going to be coming out in 2017. Is there anyone that you're collaborating with on that you can't talk about?
We got the homie 2 Chainz.
That's not on the
Nice.
EP, but that's
Yeah,
definitely
I
a next
mean-
song coming out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not on the EP. True, valid point. But
I love how you
very
have each other
excited
to
for that
just
one.
call each other out. Like it's
Also,
fine.
we have a
That's
track
great.
with Belly. I don't know if you know him. He has a
No.
big song with The
He has this
Weeknd.
Okay.
Might Not Make It with The Weeknd.
Okay.
You've
Big
definitely
track.
heard it.
Great songwriter and rapper and artist overall.
Another Canadian artist as well. So
Nice.
we have a record with Nervo, the Nervo
Yeah.
sisters.
The twins.
Yeah, and then we're just sitting on like 12 records that we've kind of been working on in the last 12 months. Just like on our travels, we'll usually do 2 weeks on tour, and then we'll take like a week and a half off in the studio. So we had a really cool writing session in Thailand that I've been telling you about because a lot
in the jungle or something.
yeah,
right?
it was a
like?
life-changing experience. I mean, it was like 2 hours outside of Bangkok in Pattaya, and you just wouldn't think there'd be a beautiful studio space there. So they let us like record there for almost a week and a half, and they had every instrument there. They had like a beautiful space, so we recorded like he'd just be like, yo, pick up the raindrops and stuff, and like those like random sticks that make crazy sounds, and like we just recorded everything and just sampled everything, and we had a really like inspiring like session there. I feel like in everyone's career they have like one place where they're like, wow, that was like we'll go back there and write again, is what I'm saying.
So the jungle suited you well.
Yeah, there's just no distractions.
Yeah.
Our house came with a car, our Airbnb came with a car, and we're driving on the highway, and all of a sudden we just hear like, dun-dun.
The tire like dun-dun.
And it just starts smoking. We just pull over on the highway, and like all these like village people just come
This is
in.
in the jungle.
No, it was
I
like
mean,
Okay, so I'm like, you're
on
talking
the
about
way.
highways in
It's-
the jungle.
I mean, it's
on the way.
on the way
jungle.
to the jungle.
I mean,
yeah.
it's like 2.5 hours away from Bangkok.
Okay.
So it's definitely in the cuts.
Like-
Wow.
It was.
And
it
so
was
can you
nice.
hear a marked difference then between music that you do record when you're kind of like in the wilderness, unplugged, way less stimulation, and when, say, you're in Canada, in the city, if you're
Yeah.
traveling, in Dubai, where it's
100%.
pretty hectic?
I mean, all the hard songs were actually mostly written in Amsterdam, because in the summertime we spend most of our time in Europe. So we have the hubs like Amsterdam, Ibiza, Mykonos. We just like vibe out there, but to get louder, this mic. But
We want to
yeah,
hear
so
what you're saying.
so yeah, we just like, I mean, No Lies, definitely like a very like reggae-ish type of rocky song, and that was written in Thailand. Also, You're On My Mind, half of that was written in Thailand also, so very like vibey. 24K was in Holland, it was just like late nights in the studio,
Yeah.
like cold weather, you just gotta make a banger.
We're definitely
So-
pretty inspired by like where we are in the world,
Yeah.
what we're listening to at the time, and that it just comes out with what we're writing at the time as well.
So is the new stuff then going to seem a bit more mellow? Is it slower?
No, we still have a few records that will keep the day one fans happy. Like we always love satisfying all the fans, and some of the new stuff is mellow. But if you've actually been a true dubs fan from the beginning, we released a lot of mellow music in the beginning. Like that's where we actually feel most comfortable writing. Is just like just very like pretty melodic, chill records that sometimes we'll have a girl vocalist on it. Recently, we've been experimenting a lot more with our own vocals. So, we're just trying to get comfortable in our own skin to like be able to sing it live and like do it live.
Yeah.
Because coming from a DJ producer background to then start being in front of the camera,
Yeah.
in front of the stage, there's all processes to it.
Completely different.
Sound check, everything
Yeah.
changes.
So you brought up collaborations just there. You're saying you might test out some female vocals, etc. Just in terms of EDM, like if you think about it, like Chainsmokers blew up. If we think back to the heydays when they released #selfie, because they basically tapped in to a selfie, which was maybe one of the most mainstream things of that year, whichever year that was that came out.
Right.
And then they have the song Closer with Halsey that was breaking Billboard records because it just sat there pretty on #1 for how many, 14 weeks or something. So do you think it's necessary then to have collaborations to really succeed in EDM these days?
I don't think it's fully necessary, but definitely having like different minds, and music is such a different type of language. When there's two minds in the studio or three people sending bouncing tracks back and forth with acapellas and different like melodies and stuff, I don't know, it's somehow, if it blends together, it clicks. You might make 50 songs that it doesn't fully work, but you might have a few out of those that you collaborated with some songwriter on the other side of the world that fully connects with where you're at musically.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it clicks so well. Like we've had a vocal sent to us that was in the exact same key as as he was writing the night before. So he put the vocal on, like lowered, chopped it up and then he slowed it down, and he actually it fully it clicked right away.
It just arrived the next
Yeah, it was
day.
great. That was Wicked Ways actually.
Like magic.
Yeah, he was already working on that like chill trap beat like all night before, and then it was already in the same key, and kind of once he slowed it down perfectly flipped.
So would you get that? Clear your throat. Would you get that a lot though? Like vocalists just sending you samples, or hey, can you test this out? Does that suit? Because if you think about it, even One Dance, the Drake song, that girl Kyla or whatever her name was, wasn't it Kyla, the girl on that
Yeah.
song with him? he just heard a sample and his people reached out to her and were like, hey, can we use this in the new Drake song? She wasn't even checking her emails, and she did one day, and now she went from being just a stay-at-home mom to being a sample on, I think, which was the biggest track of 2016.
Well, that's the beauty of this time and this era of like music. Like it's just so free. Like everyone can collaborate with anyone. People can hear a sample and remake it, you know, like, you know, you can also get sued by, you know, not clearing a sample, which also happens a lot nowadays, but it's just, music is in a really cool place. It's really experimental. I think it's more than just genres now. I think it's, you know, a good song is a good song. And, you know, whether it's a hard record or a slow record, from the beginning to the end, like if it's just like, if it flows perfectly, then like people are listening to it. People are spreading it on their social medias. And it can blow up no matter if you're an artist with 5,000 Instagram followers or 1 million. Nowadays, like a good song will it's carry its own weight, basically.
Yeah, because there's just so many platforms to broadcast it on.
Yeah.
So then in general, like EDM was just an underground thing. And say if David Guetta, when he collaborated Black Eyed Peas, and over the past 10 years, it's just become, I guess, so much more in the world of everyone. And if we want to say mainstream, it has really become more so that. What would you really put that down to, in your opinion? Is it like better software? Is it just because it's more accessible for people to make it themselves?
I mean, it's just the trend to do right now. You know, when I grew up, you know, I wanted a guitar. I wanted to play drums. So, I mean, now everyone wants, you know, Ableton or Fruity Loops, or, you know, they want to make beats. It's just,
young generation.
Yeah, it's just a different generation. And I mean, you know, there's some positives and negatives, you know, like maybe the kids will be great engineers, but not necessarily have the background of songwriting. So everyone just has strengths and weaknesses. So that's why you collaborate, because at a certain point we were writing all our vocals. Alex was singing all the vocals. And then as we got bigger, people were like, okay, cool, like, I hear the idea in that, like, I'm a better singer than you, so I'm gonna sing it.
And
I'm
you're
not
like,
a trained
okay.
vocalist, you know,
Yeah.
so we try things.
Or
but
not that,
sometimes-
just like, when you just work with someone else in like, a vocalist, she comes in the room, you're vibing, you have a hit demo within like 20 minutes. You're sitting there by yourself, you're like, yeah, it has potential, but, I mean, you take the vocal off the biggest hit right now, and all you hear is a little melody and a you know, like, it's all about simplicity. So, I mean, you definitely got to find the good vocalists.
Yeah.
So if you're a dope vocalist, send it to us.
Is it true that you're working with Cody Simpson?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have
he's
a
a
record
homie.
with- Yeah, Cody's cool. We've been following him for quite some time, and you know, since he's been like a pop star till his like, you know, his whole rebrand through the Coast House stuff that he's doing. He's a super talented kid though. I think he's like 19, 20 now. By the time he's 25, like he'll be able to take over any
he's an
stage.
incredible singer.
Yeah, and it's cool. He's just like, he took some time away from the
Limelight.
fake light of things, you know, and he found himself, which a lot of child stars don't do. And like, I feel like it was good for him, you know. He lived by he moved to the beach. He started like finding himself. He surfs every day. He's a great kid.
He's like a hippie, so he needs that hippie lifestyle.
He's a hippie at heart.
Yeah,
he's like a poet. He's an artist.
he's like a
surfer.
folk hippie.
I love how we say that, and it just sounds so exotic. We're like, what's that like? Because everyone's just here in New York City and the hustle and bustle of it all. Sounds like he is.
But you guys are cool. You guys got a cool vibe in New York City.
Yeah, we do have a very good
It's very
vibe here.
fast.
That's why we're all here. Very fast paced.
Yeah.
Very motivating. I want to talk a bit about the Woozy brand and the Woozy gang. How did you come up with that?
It was more of like a joke in the beginning that turned into something like pretty serious, because Chris was like making Twitter accounts like back in the day, and like, you know, he was just always cracking up like funny jokes, and I think they created like a Woozy gang account. They're just like RT and they just make like quick jokes that would start stimulating a lot of like retweets and stuff.
Yeah.
And then our fans like caught wind of like the word Woozy, and they just started calling themselves like Woozy this, Woozy that, Woozy gang. And they almost created like a little fan base on social media, which is cool. They go by it. It's like a little collective, and it's just like a little part of a family that like they feel connected to on social media. And you never really know like what they're doing in like a day. Like they come home from school, maybe they had a really, you know, crappy day at school, but they go online, and the community that they've kind of built around us, it's a really like positive community. It's a really like sincere community of kids that like they love music, they love fashion, they love cool things that's all around. And
even for themselves, then it's a way that all the fans can just connect with each other. I guess it's just like another version of a fan club.
Yeah, it's a fan club. Yeah, just a new, like, it's a 2017 or like way of a fan club, basically.
Yeah.
There's always like every group of like cliques or whatever, you always have your saying, you know, like safe or that's key. Or everyone has like a word, like growing up, they're like, who made that word popular? It's kind of, you know, like there's so many little sayings, like who takes credit for like the biggest saying? Like there's some dude who was walking around like, I came up with that saying, like, and then everyone's like, dude, chill.
And DJ Khaled's like, I did actually, the king of all the sayings. So
Drink
Mount Woozy is a festival as well that you guys have curated yourselves, isn't it? So it started in 2015.
Yep.
So can you tell me a little bit about that and just in general your whole entrepreneurship? Because I know you're also there's like a fashion label, Canary, your imprint. So first of all, the festival. What do you need to know?
There's a hometown show. We're from Toronto, Canada, and there's like a really cool festival that started about 4 years ago called Veld Festival, and like they have like Dead Mouse and the Chainsmokers, and it's really cool. We opened the first slot at the crappy stage like 5 years ago, and in the very first year the festival started. So, you know, flash forward a few years, we got the slot right before Dead Mouse in our hometown. It's like 50,000 people are finally there. It's like nighttime slot. It's something you've actually dreamed of like over quite some time, and you know, we're all hyped. The day of the show's happening, you like wake up and have like that anxiety of a show, and then all of a sudden, there's like a tornado warning, and the whole festival gets canceled.
No, when was this?
This was a year ago, or a year and a half ago. So the whole festival got canceled, and you know, I just like saw the tweets pour in of like how many like upset kids were, and we just like thought like, well, how cool it would be if we could kind of like rent some sort of grounds that's similar to where that festival was, and kind of throw our own festival. We'll try and call any of the DJs that didn't play that day. There was like 12 dope DJs playing. And we threw our own, like 3 weeks later, we threw our own festival called Mount Woozy.
You did this in 3 weeks.
We saved summer for the kids.
Yeah, it was like the last week of summer.
They're going to save Christmas. No, they're going to save
That's
summer.
what they were like saying online, which was, it was mad cool that we could have like helped out a little bit on that forefront. But yeah, it was cool. We got like, Juicy J came out and like did a crazy rap set. Carnage came out and did a DJ set. Layback Luke and GTA came out, and like just a bunch of like dope friends and artists that they were just in it for like the kids and like making it a dope experience for everyone. And 10,000 kids showed up. That was cool. And it was on like the lakefront of Toronto, Echo Beach. So like the background was like the whole like cityscape of Toronto with the CN Tower.
No, there's awesome videos online of it. There's like a
you've watched them?
video. Yeah, of course. I do my research. Come on.
You're
So
good.
now is that going to be like an ongoing festival? So it happened last year as well in New York, right?
Yeah, we did a Woozy. It was like a Woozy festival, but it was a Woozy beach on Governor's Island. So that was really cool, and yeah, that one sold out as well.
We just want to take it international because we got fans everywhere, Asia, South Africa, South America, and it's just like
they deserve to experience it at least once if we can bring it there. You know, like it's there's a lot more that goes into it than you just like hear us being like, well, we just decided to do a festival. You know, like we have.
You're the ones who made it
people.
sound easy. You were like, we did it in 3 weeks.
It was like that, but you know, we still have like a group, like you know, a team of like 10 people working every day, making sure the calls are good. You know, some artists are more divas than other artists, and you know.
Divas, bro.
You know
as it gets bigger, we just get all the artists we want, and you know, it's not just all the same music. Because sometimes you see lineups, and it's just like artists who are gonna play literally like a similar kind of set.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like.
I'd like to make it more of like an alternative experience for sure.
Nice.
Like definitely different types of genres of music that people can experience.
And so your label, Canary, also isn't just EDM. It's lots of different genres. Can you talk to me
Canary
a bit about
like
that?
started when we were like 15 years old. It was kind of like just our holding company of like the business side of things. But flash forward again, we decided to kind of, you know, go independent for the last few years. We've been pretty fully independent other than some like partnerships and distribution and stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So we decided to like launch Canary and make it more of a just not in your face. Like we don't ever want to push it in your face. You know, we're gonna be very selective on the tracks we release through Canary, whether it's our music or other music from an R&B artist or a producer that's from Montreal that we just want to release his trap song on. But it's all gonna have some sort of quality to the song. It's not gonna be quantity over quality in this label, and we're not gonna push in people's face. So if the song does well, if the song blows up, it's because it deserved to blow up, and we just gave it that bit of push from our platform. Whether it just also needs a little bit of money, to make it go just that extra step is what some kids in their bedroom just need. And like if we can help 1 or 2 people out somewhere in the world, then we're making our part in the industry. At least. So yeah, that's Canary, and we released Beautiful Disaster on it. We didn't know how well it was gonna do. We actually didn't really have high expectations at all, but a couple of songs are, starting.
10 million streams on Spotify.
It hit 15 million today. So yeah, Spotify gave us Not Going Home, the record. They put it on 4 weeks today's top hits. So it's growing like 450,000 to 700,000 plays a day, which is shout out Spotify.
Shout to Spotify. And like you just do it all yourself. So growing up, obviously, how old were you when you both started talking about like making music together? I know you were in a band and you liked reggae and punk, wasn't it? Yeah. And then you just changed into EDM. But were you always like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it ourselves, we're gonna have a label, we're gonna have festivals? Was it on the horizon, or did it just evolve?
I mean, I can recall the first song we tried to make, and we were just in our basement. It was like me, Alex, and our neighbors. It was like our best friend Ty and our other buddy, and he's just watching. He wasn't doing it. He was just chilling watching. And I had like these cookie like things, and I was making steel drums out of them. Like I was like literally like 10 years old.
You dented these like pans in different like ways with a hammer, so it actually had a steel drum sound to it. So
not really.
We had this this fake reggae band. It was more of an acoustic guitar and some steel pans.
Like those old school like mic recorders you just have it like audio record, and you'd be like, yo. And it'd be like the worst quality ever. And our buddy just
like
got a
Toy
bass.
Master kind of things.
Yeah, and he was just like playing these like 2 like awful bass chords, and we're just like dun dun dun. It was just, and we're like screaming.
We started at 11 years old, so we had levels. There's levels to this.
Yeah,
and that's the gift. Not many people know what they want to do when they're 40, and you knew at 11 and 10 respectively.
Started writing like
didn't know then. We were doing it for fun then. Definitely more for fun back then, but we were doing soccer and music at the same time. Chris got a scholarship for soccer and was like playing semi-pro in Greece.
Wow.
So yeah, he's pretty good. We were both pretty good, and when I quit, I was just more focusing on like learning guitar, and like we had 7 different bands of like rock bands, reggae bands, like indie acoustic bands. Like we just love music as a whole, and if you can just love music in general and understand that, genre is just a word, you know what I mean? If you can just accept music for what it is as a language and learn it, and don't ever think you're the best, and actually just that someone else who may not be bigger than you in like the long run of things, but they have more wisdom. They've been around a little bit longer maybe. So don't get confused by social media numbers anymore is what I'm saying, and like never think you can't learn something from someone else who in this day and age is smaller than you. It doesn't matter. Like we learn from people all day. And that's what I see people, like if you ever read a comment on social media, like we actually like we read all your comments, criticism, harsh comments, whatever, but we're never telling anyone that we're the best. We just want to keep learning. That's the beauty behind music for sure.
Stay humble, and you'll keep growing.
Trying to.
And we have some questions there, I think, from the audience. Oh, yourself?
Yes. Hi. Thank you both for coming. My question is,
what's your name?
Annette.
What's up, Annette?
So
hey. My question is, I'm sorry, a little bit nervous.
it's awkward with the mic, right? It's
yeah,
like,
it is.
hello.
This is my voice.
Yeah, it really is. My question is, at what point do you know that a song is really complete? Like you said all that you said you needed to say, and did all the tweaks and all that.
I mean, I feel like in this day, you just got to keep it simple. So sometimes, like, I'll have my main melody and I'll have, like, everything's laid out, and then I just keep doing more. And then Alex would be like, dude, I just gapped out, but, like, you've been doing nothing for the last 30 minutes because you've just been adding. And I'd be like, true.
You could definitely over.
So usually we find ourselves, like, removing some stuff and just being like, yeah.
But by the time we send, like, the second demo to our management, they probably have already given us some, good feedback, where, simplify the hook a little bit, or like, take those drums out of the verse so it just lets more like the rap part breathe or something. So we definitely do have some like very knowledgeable people tell us when it's ready, and then I think then I don't know, it just comes to like a conclusion.
You
with
just
it.
feel it, kind of.
Yeah, just
Like
feel
we
it.
just listen to it a lot, and then
Just feel it.
no, I mean it's like an energy thing. So it could be like a minor thing that like
Spiritual.
the build is like a little too like loud, or it's too impactful before the drop, and it's like the drop's not really hitting. You gotta like just simplify the build, or like it's just minor stuff. And then obviously managers will be like, that's crap.
And then you say, no, it's not.
And then I'll be like, oh.
Back
Lick
to
your
square
wounds.
one, yeah.
And I think we have one more question.
Hey, so as artists, what was the best advice given to you guys?
I got asked this today, actually. I love this reggae band from San Diego called Slightly Stupid, and they had a cool like horn section that they were all singers and like trumpet players and trombone
They
players.
do Warped Tour a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, they've done some
Yeah.
Warped Tours, but they're just like super big in like all the surf festivals in like Hawaii and on the West Coast, and pretty much everywhere. But I added the trumpet player on Facebook, and he accepted my friend request when I was like 14 years old, and I was like, dude, like I love what you guys do. Like I dream of like hitting some stages and stuff with you sometime. And he was like, listen, bud, like if you want to like make it as a musician, you got to make music your world. It has to be 120% of your day. You know what I mean? Like you have to understand that the tour life, the studio hours, there's pros and cons to everything, and there's a lot of, you start missing out on other parts of your life as well. So you just need to know that there's sacrifices to everything you do. It's not always glamour. And he said it straight up, and it was like, if you make it 120%, then you will be putting in the hours every single day that you need to do to finally get onto the platform, and people will come and reach you. And don't worry about signing things too fast.
Yeah. And our manager's dad also told us, man, we can't cut our hair, because then we're screwed.
You'll
if we
be
cut our hair.
unrecognizable.
People will hate us if we
It's
cut our hair.
It's not about the talent. It's all
convinced.
about the hair. That's why
It's
you're
all the
here
hair.
at
That's why I
AOL
like
Build.
us.
We just wanted to see
got
your
nice
lovely
flow.
faces and your hairdos.
Great
Well-
personalities.
Definitely said something like statistically proven that the singer of Nickelback cut his hair, and less people liked him.
I think that he always had a hard time, but
I was told that.
I
argue
think they
that.
started throwing rocks when he cut his hair. Nah, they always did. No, I'm just
Poor
joking.
dude from Nickelback.
No, I think
Anywho.
they're
No,
G's,
they're
man.
Canadian,
They're
though.
mad G's.
Shout out, Nick. Yeah, you guys are
He
cool.
brought like a bong out for that interview, remember? Or that he won like a Grammy. He's just like,
He was on
I
a
can't
Canadian
make
award
it,
show.
but I'm smoking my bong.
He won a Grammy.
And I
No,
thought
it was
cool.
it was a Juno. He won
Okay,
a
so it
Juno.
wasn't a great.
That's why he didn't show up. He's like, eh.
Come on.
It was a Canadian award show
Okay.
that he didn't show
He's like,
up
I'm
to.
from BC. That's a 6-hour flight. Like, nah.
Not bothered. Well, on that very upbeat note, guys, thank you so much for coming in. It's all
Oh,
your
yeah,
time
thank
for
you.
it. But
Nice to
best
meet
of
you
luck with
guys.
2017, and thank you.
Mad love.